try and get on the inside of both of them, and he will. So Bradley Lane gets himself into 5th position as they head through Surtees on the opening lap, taking full advantage of that contact ahead of him. Really feisty start that from Morgan Bailey, the red and white number 26 car, and it almost went wrong there as they went through Graham Hill Bend. Right, leaders out of car curve for the first time. It's Camp who leads. Love is second. Redford right on his tail in 3rd place though. I wonder is Will going to have a go into Paddock Hill Bend? No, he's not quite close enough. Oh, has a big wiggle on the brakes actually, does Will Redford in that blue and white Kinetic Motorsport car. A couple of big lunges coming further down the order. Keep an eye to George Art Williams in the number 5 car. Well, actually George has lost 2 places on that first lap, so the man's second in the championship down to 17th already as they complete the first lap of racing. The production class still being led by Louis Hounsell. Wasn't such a good start for Alfie Jenkins, so 2 or 3 Cup cars are now separating numbers 28 and 754 at the head of the production field. No doubt about the overall race leader, that is Alistair Camp, and he is checking out at the front of the pack now. Matt Luff is coming under increasing pressure here from Will Redford, who goes on the inside of him at Clearways corner, a wide line here to find Matt Luff, and it left the door invitingly open for 42 car, but actually as they come on Clearways 3-car curve, Matt Luff has the traction to hang on, but it's by less than a Civic's length now between number 72 and 42, between those two fighting for second place. Into Graham Hill, another lunge there from Morgan Bailey a bit further down the order, and it is getting very, very close through Paddock Hill Bend. Max Edmondson there losing out briefly to George Art Williams, and indeed George does make the move stick on the exit. Art Williams there gaining a place, 2 places now, back into 15th place now, back where he started. Through Graham Hill Bend then, one running wide there, that was, I think that was Dave Marshall in the red FN2 Honda Civic, running wide at Paddock and then getting lent on by somebody through Druid's corner. That will have been Jenkins actually, because Marshall got himself to second in the production class. The production leaders now are together, so you've got the black, the purple car with the sort of checkered flag ring is leading the class as one car is off at Clearways corner, and that is off to inside the top 10 I think. Not going to come through where they ought to this time, then they're going to rejoin, but having bounced over the grass, multiple positions lost. Camp leads Love second, Redford, Thackeray Lane, Lewis Bailey, Butler, Bensley are there. Oh, it was Harvey Caton, I'm afraid, the youngster who has had a moment at Clearways and will eventually come across the line in 21st place, having been 10th at the start of the lap. I started to say the production battle is absolutely as one, and they're just going through Paddock Hill Bend together now. So you've got the purple car with the checkered roof. That is the leader of the production class, Louis Hounsell. Behind him, the red FN2 is Dave Marshall. Around the outside of him, with a really opportunistic move at Druids, goes number 754, the championship leader, Alfie Jenkins. That gives him the inside line of the red car into Graham Hill Bend, and I think he's going to get ahead of Marshall. Might even have a go. The race lead can't quite get there. One or 2 spots of rain starting to fall. Yes, it is getting a bit slippery out there, I think, isn't it? People starting to have little sideways moments. Perhaps Will Redford one of them, because that was a slow lap for the man in 3rd. He's now got Dan Thackeray right behind him. Dan Thackeray arriving here at Brands Hatch's 3rd in the championship, and won this equivalent race at Cadwell. He won race 1 at Cadwell Park some 6 weeks ago now, the first round of the championship, and he's all over Redford for 3rd as they drop out of Druids and head down into Graham Hill Bend. As ever with Civic Cup, though, you don't really know where to look, because as that scrap goes through Graham Hill, we've got an almighty fight going on in the production class, heading up the hill toward Druids, where Dave Marshall, I think, is getting back up the inside there of Jenkins, isn't he, for second place, possibly allowing Louis Hounsell to escape up the road. 2 cars in the pit lane, one is number 23, that's Natalie Brooks, the other is number 44, Reese Lewis, so Cup driver in and the production driver in the pit lane with problems. Leading pack coming back through in the first side-by-side battle, this time moving for 6th position because Morgan Bailey has got up the inside here of Max Lewis. Remember, these two tangled on the opening lap, and Morgan Bailey is going to go on the inside line into Paddock Hill Bend. I think an increasingly slippery Paddock Hill Bend though, because that rain is definitely still coming down. Now thankfully there's a lot of residual heat in the track, so the track temperature is high enough that it might not get too slippery straight away. But if it does continue to rain, that's certainly going to provide another headache for the drivers. Out through Graham Hill Bend, Max Lewis there just fending off Rob Butler, that is now, who's in the 74 car, and then number 14 behind him is Ryan Bensley, and actually then they've got Daniel McDonald as well, so all of them together going through Surtees. This is a fight for 7th position. Bailey having got into that 6th place, already escaping the road. Alistair Camp is certainly escaping though. Alistair Camp was not a winner, and a disappointing Cadwell Park did the reigning champions. This is much more like it for Carnival 1. Matt Luff can't live with his pace at the moment. And Likewise, the Redford struggling to go with him. Side by side, and the yellow car on the inside, that's Ben Sharp. And he's going to the inside of Paul Taylor. I think Jack Harding in the black car ahead of them had also got past Taylor at the start of that lap. So that puts Harding 11, Sharp 12, and Taylor losing 2 places down into 13th place. Right, dare I say it, things calming down a bit in the Cup class, and what's going on in production? It's still Hounsell that leads, number 28 from 754 Jeekins and 99 Dave Marshall. They are 3 again, absolutely together. In fact, they're side by side, I think, for the class lead, maybe, as they go into Druid's corner. No, that's a Cup car, I think they are battling away with. But, of course, as they start fighting with some of the stragglers in the Cup class, so that can have an effect on the production field. They all go on the inside of that slow runner, and that was the 30 of Sam Linsner, taking at Graham Hill Bend. Lead us back through then onto the 8th lap of racing, 8.5 minutes to go, so we're not quite halfway yet. Still some good battles going on. John Williams now, the next driver to fall behind the orange and grey, number 195 of Paul Taylor. And the Welshman is still only 14th. Now, you score points as long as you finish the race, but of course the further up the order you are, the more points, significantly more points, you will be scoring. And George, winner at Cadwell in the second race last time out, is certainly someone who wants to be scoring points, big points, for his championship campaign. He's got past Taylor now, so his next target will be the number 71 of Ben Sharp. He's a second or so in the road from him. Rain continues to linger. Say the track conditions have changed just yet though, so I think the drivers should be able to manage this. To say that I see a car snapping sideways at Clearways corner. The lap times have dropped off by about half a second, so it is noticeable that the pace is dropping off. Not by an enormous amount, it has to be said. Paddock Hill Bend, and perhaps the next battle to watch for is Morgan Bailey versus Bradley Lane. This is for 5th position. Bradley Lane reporting ahead of that red and white of Morgan Bailey, who's trying to peek to the inside of him as they come out of Druid's corner. Can't quite get the overlap though, and he's on the wrong side anyway into Graham Hill Bend, the left-hander. Bradley Lane goes in a bit deep though. Morgan Bailey quicker off the turn, but again can't quite get his nose in that gap on the inside line into Surtees, where they will encounter a slow production car. Now, which way is it going to go? This is a bit of a lottery. It goes to the left as they go through McLaren, so that allows the lap cars to go on the inside of it through Clearways. Nice driving there round, but it did take away a potential overtaking opportunity for Morgan there. Now, just brought back by a car length or so from the black and fluorescent yellow ahead of him. That slow production car, by the way, is number 495 Mark Hughes. So, off the pace, possibly with a mechanical issue of some sort. The blue FN2s, it'd be nice to see one of those FN2s that are racing. The championship these days, they were a bit of a dying breed as recently as last year, but now 3 or 4 of them entered across both classes. So we're into the second half of the race, 6 minutes and 20 to go. Number 1, Alistair Camp leads the way. Number 72, Matt Luff is second. Number 42, Will Redford is third. Fourth is number 29, Dan Thackeray. And fifth is where this almighty battle is between number 40, Brad Lane, and number 26, Morgan Bailey. Now Bailey is a lot closer this time into Clearways. There's a gap left on the inside line, and Bailey tries to get there. Just contact. Certainly Lane ends up going a lot wider than he intended there. And Morgan Bailey goes through into 5th position. That was a move by Bailey. I was too far away from me to see if they did touch him. They did. It was very, very slight. But either way, Morgan Bailey gets car number 26 into 5th position. Not a bad effort that remains on the grid in these increasingly sketchy conditions. Through Paddock they go, and now Bradley Lane falling back under threat from Max Lewis in that brightly coloured 271 car. Very close moment into Paddock there as that Mark Hughes car was being lapped by a couple of the Cup cars further down the order. As far as the production class is concerned, by the way, it is now Alfie Jeekins. So Jeekins on that lap got the lead away from number 28, Louis Hounsell. They're just going up the hill now in behind Jeff Alden, who is a Cup runner. So again, they're catching the Cup runner with a couple of issues, and that now allows Hounsell to close right back in on Jeekins as they head out of Druids and drop downhill into Graham Hill Bend. So the 3 cars at Graham Hill Bend to the second and third, they are fighting for that production class lead with number 75 Alfie Jeekins ahead now. Side by side of Paddock this time around between Bradley Lane and Max Lewis, and Lewis goes through on the inside line. Lane is starting to struggle now, isn't he, as we get into the second half of the race. Bradley Lane then down into 7th now, and he's got a queue forming behind him. Got Woodland, Ryan Bensley, Dan McDonald, Jack Harding, Ben Sharp, and the closing George Al Williams are all there. And in fact, Lane has been really mugged at Druids, look, because through goes Bensley. In fact, it's all changed there because Lewis lost some ground as well. So it's now going to be Rob Butler at the front of that race car as they coming through Clearway's corner. We've also got then the black car of Jack Harding, the fluorescent yellow of Ben Sharp, and then George R. Williams slowly catching in that group as well. Dan McDonald also in there, so it's a 7-car fight going through Paddock Hill Bend. Car off at Graham Hill Bend. That looks like it's pulled off, and that's Aaron Reeves' machine as Dan McDonald goes very wide through the gravel at Paddock Hill Bend. That makes it easy for Ben Sharp to nip on the inside of it into 11th position now. But Aaron Reeves pulling off at Graham Hill Bend, some sort of a mechanical issue for him, it would seem, is possibly the second retire, because I don't think Natalie Brooks is going anywhere. In fact, third, because Reese Lewis also never came back into the pit lane. That are potentially not going to finish the race back on. Mainly because driving standards flag typically handed out for exceeding track limits, but it can cause different things. He's escaped this battle pack now, hasn't he? Which is still being led by the number 74 of Rob Butler. He's got down on 14 Ryan Bentley cutting around behind him. Ben Sharp in the Pro Alloys car is going on the inside of Jack Harding. That's 10th place now for the former regular in the championship anyway, Ben Sharp. But Harding comes back on the inside. Jack Harding knows a thing or two about close quarters one-way racing, albeit making the transition from MX-5s to Civics will be a challenge for him. But he manages to get back on the inside of Ben Sharp, who's wide out of Druids, and might even lose out now to Dan McDonald, who is the next car behind. Al Williams and Paul Taylor are also joining in the fun as that group of cars gets bigger and bigger now in production. Jeff Alden there was being overtaken by the production leader of Paddock Hill Bend. So Jenkins and Hounsell have both got themselves ahead of Jeff Alden, which means that is now a genuine fight for the class lead, having got past that slightly slower Cup car. And they will continue to do battle over the next few laps. There's also a stunning fight going on between Max Edmondson and Harvey Caton. They're side by side and clearly side by side for about a lap and a half, these two. And Edmondson, for the time being, getting the better of the youngster, teenager, 54 Harvey Caton. And that they're kind of side by side again now as they come across the line. And Caton back on the inside of them again. And Paddock, this is a terrific scrap. There's about 2 whole laps in France Saturday circuit. They've done wheel to wheel, and Caton on the inside of Paddock is going to get the place again, but here comes Edmondson fighting back. There's another gap on the inside of Druids. This may only be over 18th place. It's the best fight on the track right now. And Max Edmondson gets it back again through Druids' corner. Wait for it though, because I'm sure Harvey's going to have another stab at him down into Graham Hill Bend. Can't get to the inside. Edmondson had that covered. So Caton, undeterred, tries the long way around. It's dirty out there. He gets the cutback, gets back up on the inside again. I can't remember the last time I got this excited about a fight for 18th place. This is terrific stuff. They're still side by side, almost contact at Surtees, and Max Edmondson manages to fend him off. Right, I'm going to have to drag my eyes away from that because Jack Harding and Bradley Lane are banging towards into Paddock Hill Bend, and there's further contact on the apex. Harding on the inside, Lane will get shuffled out wide, and Ben Sharp, Dan McDonald, and George R. Williams will all go through. That was Bradley Lane trying to close the door, I think, into Paddock when Harding